Greetings, my champions. Greetings, change lovers. We are meeting on Chatufa Live as we continue with the gospel of the freedom of the Zimbabwean people. Thank you so much for supporting your platform, for standing with your platform, for supporting the gospel of the freedom of the Zimbabwean people. We are seeing the government of Emmerson Mnangagwa fails to pay Harare road contractors US 200 million that they owe these contractors. Very, very embarrassing situation that we find in the country. And you would wonder why things are happening the way that they are happening, because we are just having a bunch of people that don't understand what they are doing. So the government of Zimbabwe, this is a report from the Newshawks, has failed to pay urban road contractors US 200 million. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money owed by ZANU PF to these contractors. And one question that you'd want to ask is, what is the problem with ZANU PF? Why is it that they start things? When they start things that they can't finish. And every time this is the problem. We have every kind of contractor or project that is being done, construction that is being done in Zimbabwe is not getting to completion, all owing to ZANU PF and its mismanagement. So when you look at why, you remember we had a show here and we talked about this, where we were saying many people are decrying why ZANU PF is digging up the Harare roads, while especially around other locations and even other highways, they have quite a lot of potholes. Roads that were not that bad are being destroyed. And ZANU PF is doing that because they are saying those are the roads that will be used by the convoys of the SADC leaders when they come for the SADC meeting that is going to be held in Zimbabwe, probably around August, somewhere there. But what is this? It's not Ndomawara. He was sitting a mawala, because you cannot just rush to destroy infrastructure before you have known the budget that you have. Why would you start by destroying before you raise the money that you want to use? But we have said this, and we said, does ZANU PF have the money? Are we not going to start to have stories again? You know, because once this scenario begins, what it means automatically is that these contractors are not going to continue with work. They will down their tools. Once they down their tools, problems. All other areas that have been destroyed already, or roads that have been dug up, they are not going to be completed. And what is going to be happening? So from this article, it says construction companies working on some of Harare's critical inner roads, linking the new parliament building in Mount Hampden and the Bedbridge Harare Chirundu Highway projects, the trade and commercial gateways to the north from the south, have not been paid for their current work. They are owed a total over US 200 million for different construction jobs, which will cover 255 kilometers. The government pays contractors in local currency and United States dollars. It is supposed to have paid part of the total cost to allow them to do their work and meet timelines, but it has not yet done so. Failure by the government to pay on time has left construction firms struggling without adequate working capital to finance day-to-day operations and pay for expenses of the projects. The companies are already behind schedule as time flies. Informed industries sources told the Newshawk that the 5 contractors involved in the Inner Harare Roads Network Rehabilitation Project linking to the Bedbridge Harare Chirundu Highway, Bitumen World, Fossil Contractors, Exodus Company, and Masimpa Construction and Tensor Systems have not been paid. The 5 companies involved in the Bedbridge Harare Chirundu Highway project, initially estimated to cost US 2.7 billion, are collectively rehabilitating the whole stretch spanning 935 kilometers. So this is the situation that we are seeing happening in the country. And what is it that Mnangagwa will ever do? I've always told you that when I say I trust Mnangagwa, and people will say, what do you mean? I said I trust him because I know that he is the guy who is capable to bring ZANU PF down. This is the guy who never put his hands on anything and it works out. Just look at the disaster There is disaster everywhere. Look at the economy. Look at the new currency, the ZIG. Look at what the new governor is now saying, now, disowning that ZIG and saying it was not our idea. It was the World Bank's idea. So if it fails, you must blame the World Bank and not blame us. They are running away from it. They introduced it. And when asked whether it will buy fuel, it will be used at passport offices, they said no, because they know that ZANU-PF is making millions and millions through the passport offices, and that money is being pocketed by individuals. The filling stations belong to Emerson Mnangagwa and Kudata Gwire. They cannot take that paper and paper money into their company, into their businesses. They've rejected to do that. And banks, supermarkets, and everywhere, there's nothing happening. Already the police are being sent into the streets to start to beat up people, to start arresting the money changers, and yet ZANU-PF has not provided any platform where they would say, if you want US dollar, you can go and buy and get it or buy it from this place. There's no Beirut change. The US dollar cannot be accessed from banks. It cannot be accessed from RBZ except by those ZANU-PF goons and top guns. So where do they expect citizens of Zimbabwe to get the US dollar to buy to go and buy in the supermarkets or in all the other shops, or in even their own entities where they are refusing to take the ZIG? This is the confusion. Just look at the destruction that is happening in the country. Dilapidated buildings, dilapidated roads, infrastructure, water reticulation systems are down, electricity, we don't even talk about it. Disaster after disaster. Right now, the drought that has hit the country, Mnangagwa is now coming out talking to the diasporans to say, please help. And the diasporans, these very same diasporans that they refused to give their right to vote. They don't want diasporans to vote. They don't call them Zimbabweans when it is voting time. But when there is a crisis, they want to appeal to diasporans to come and help and supply their own money. ZANU-PF is giving 1 million donations to Mutendi and Weekne Uchivayo, buying cars, splashing cars all over, and yet they are coming to the world to say, help us to find money to feed the starving Zimbabweans, and they are claiming that they need 2 billion to feed Zimbabweans. A figure that last time I was saying, that's an inflated figure. It's a ridiculous figure. There is no such amount of money that is needed. They want actually to loot part of it. Probably it's 1 billion that could be needed, and then the other billion goes to them. So ZANU-PF is not sincere, is incompetent. They don't do anything that works. All their systems crash down. There's nothing that works. No ministry is functioning. Everything is crumbled. No hospital is functioning fully. No beds in the hospitals. No oxygen. No electricity. No toilets that are functioning. No water. Everything is just down. So you can see that there is no such a government that will continue. Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF are not going far. When we consider the situation now, things are just going west. Things are just going, disastrous. And there is no how that Mnangagwa will survive this. And we are seeing this happening and watching the economy, and they are even trying to postpone the introduction of that ZIG. They are afraid because they know that it is not going to rise. It is not going to go anywhere. Right? Why are you starting the destruction of roads when you have not yet come up with a budget first? They were supposed to start with a budget. What men would start a building project when you don't talk about money first? Why everyone today is not able to build their houses? Because they are saying they don't have money. But ZANU-PF would want to start to build when they don't have the money. Right? Does it mean that they don't have the money? They do have the money, but they are looting the government coffers. They loot the mineral resources. They are looting all systems out. The money is there in Zimbabwe, but money belongs to it belongs to individuals. It belongs to those that are connected to Mnangagwa, and only those that are up there. But the rest of the people, whether police, whether the army, or ordinary CIOs or civil servants and government workers, they are all suffering. We don't even talk about those that are unemployed, the youth that have just dropped out of school. Everything is just a disaster. And this is ZANU-PF and Mnangagwa for you. They are just a cocktail of disaster. And it is going to be disaster after disaster after disaster. Nothing is going to be working. And this is the situation that we have in the country. We really need a new leadership. This is why we need to continue to pray for a free Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe deserves to be free. Zimbabweans must be freed from what we are seeing right now. This is not a government at all. This is just a mafia, a clueless lot, people that don't know what they are doing. They have no plan. They are not taking the nation anywhere. In fact, the nation is sinking every day as we are watching ZANU-PF bringing our country to its knees. So we need, as citizens, to continue to stand, demand freedom for the Zimbabwean people. Intercessors and citizens, pray for the nation to be freed. Zimbabwe is supposed to be freed. We need new leaders. We cannot continue like this. This is the country that is supposed to be prospering, a country that is supposed to be progressive, but it cannot go anyway because we have a government that is disorganized. Everyone in the government of ZANU-PF is just thinking of how they can loot, how they can steal, how they can amass wealth, how they can make themselves richer, stuff and stash money somewhere outside the country, waiting for them to run away when the heat turns up. But we are already in the season of the heat, the season of change. The wind of change is blowing, and you can see by yourself that God is on the move to collapse ZANU-PF, and ZANU-PF is not going to recover from this. We are very soon going to see the end of ZANU-PF. Zimbabwe is going to rise. Zimbabwe is going to be free. All this suffering and all the pain is going to be a thing of the past very, very soon. Let us continue to be vigilant, to be strong. Let us believe in change. Let us support the change initiatives, the change champion, and pray that the nation be freed from the hand of the evil one. So, family, this is the story that we had. Thank you for joining me. We are going to be having 2 more shows that are coming on the main channel, Chatufa Television Production, very, very soon. After just a few minutes, we'll be on the main platform, and we have 2 more shows that are still yet to come. So stay tuned till we meet again in the next show. You are blessed. And shalom.